Dr. Mindy here, and on this video, I'm going to go through 3 foods that can absolutely help with depression and anxiety. And we want to pair these, as always, with a fasting lifestyle, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So if you are new to my channel, welcome. I am on a mission to get 1 million people fasting. I know from the bottom of my heart that fasting and building a fasting lifestyle, which I'll explain what that is in a moment, can help us overturn so many of the conditions that so many of you are suffering with. You were born in this self-healing machine, and it wants to work for you, and fasting and applying foods like the one I'm going to show you right now, it's incredible, and it should be the foundation of every physical and mental health treatment. So I'm so happy you're here. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell if you're new, and those of you that send this out into the world and comment, thank you for your comments. I so love being on this journey with you.
Pioneer in the fasting
Do a long fast one day, your blood sugar going up and down.
We're in it together.
Okay, 3 keto foods. Food categories. They're not exactly foods. There's going to be more than 3, but I wanted to break them down into something very, very simple for you. We're going to go through each one, and I want to explain why these categories of foods work, but I also want to make sure that you go back and watch the video I did before this on how to use fasting for depression, because I go through different length fasts that you can use to start to repair neurons in the brain. And what I love about a fasting lifestyle, which a fasting lifestyle is where you're varying your fasts, you're varying your foods, and you're doing it in connection and community with others. What I love about that is that we can use fasting to heal and we can use food to heal. So just because we love fasting doesn't mean we leave food out of the equation. So here are the 3 categories. Let's start with them. The first concept I want to make sure you get, because if you're new to my channel, you haven't heard my teachings before, I hope you know that in order to get better mental health, we have to have better gut health. So just because we are humans doesn't mean that everything that goes on in the brain is human dependent. We need good bacteria to make us neurotransmitters. And these neurotransmitters are like dopamine and serotonin and GABA are some of my favorite. And those neurotransmitters really help with depression and anxiety. Go watch the video before it. I explain and I show you a picture of the neurotransmitters and how it works. So when we look at trying to use food to improve depression and anxiety, we've got to lean into these 3 categories of food because they feed the bacteria in the gut that will now create neurotransmitters, and those neurotransmitters will make their way up the vagus nerve from your gut up into your brain, and they will help give you feelings of joy and calm the brain so that you can feel your best. So here are the 3 categories. The first is probiotic-rich foods. So to me, probiotic-rich foods are anything that's fermented. Although, having said that, not all fermented foods are made equal. So some of the easiest fermented foods to get in are yogurts. But we want to go for things like, I hope you all have heard me say before, like cocoa is a great one. Even some like organic raw yogurts, we want to make sure that they haven't been overly pasteurized because the pasteurization process will kill those enzymes and those bacteria. Second, in the yogurt category, food that I like to look at is kefir. Raw kefir specifically. This is not the kefir you go to your store and it has a lot of sugar in it. Really, like Raw Farm is my favorite. I'll put links in the notes below so you can find those. But what we love about kefir is trillions of good bacteria in raw kefir. Of all the fermented foods, it's some of the best. Okay, third category, whether you like it or not, is sauerkraut. So sauerkraut not only has a lot of probiotics in it, but you'll see it here in a moment, it has a lot of polyphenols in it. It also is an incredible way when you ferment cabbage, you can take out the lectins and the oxalates. Those of you that are worried more about those plant toxins, fermentation takes that out. So sauerkraut Amazing. Another great one. I will tell you, in my home, we probably have a cup of sauerkraut almost every day, goes with almost every meal, and we're always doing different sauerkrauts so that we can really enhance our microbiome so we can not only get better physical health, but better mental health. The last one in the probiotic category that a lot of people have asked me is, what about kombucha? I love kombucha. You got to watch for the sugar in it. It's not always a keto food. And it's a very, very weak probiotic. There's not a lot in there, maybe a small amount. So it's great for taste. It's better than a soda, but it's really not enhancing your bacterial diversity by a large amount. So I just want to point that out. Okay, second set of foods that we're going to lean into are prebiotic foods. So probiotic foods are putting good bacteria into your gut. Prebiotic foods are feeding those bacteria. So it's like buying a pet. You bring the pet home. You're so excited about this new pet. Let's say it's like a hamster. You're so excited. You wouldn't just leave the hamster there and not feed it. That's the same thing with our gut. You put all this good fermented foods in it, but then if you don't feed those good bacteria, they're gonna die. So prebiotic fibers are super simple. Get fiber. Anything fiber rich is going to be have a prebiotic benefit for all of those good bacteria that you put in with the probiotic foods. So some of my favorites, all kinds of veggies. All kinds of veggies is super important, but raw nuts, raw seeds are great prebiotic foods. I do a lot of hemp seeds on my salads. I do chia seeds, flax seeds. I eat raw nuts during the day. I do Andreas seed oils, which we'll put links for in the notes. And then I try to eat as many veggies as I can. And when my fasting window is very short, I'll lean into products like Organifi's green juice that has these prebiotic fibers, or I'll do their balance. So I'll add it in through supplementation when I find that my eating window is much shorter and I can't get enough in. So for you expert fasters, I wanted to make that side note. Okay, third thing, polyphenol foods. So here's what's cool about polyphenol foods is that A, they're yummy. So these are foods that are anything that are rich in antioxidants. So they're yummy and they're everywhere. So, and some of them you actually may not even, you're doing and you may not even realize. My absolute favorite, because it's easy and I can pop it in my mouth all day long, are olives. Olives are incredible prebiotic food. So you want to make sure, if you went into my refrigerator right now, we have, next to the sauerkraut, we have jars and jars and jars of olives. So always coming in with different olives. Okay, this isn't a typo. Yep, it says chocolate right there. Chocolate is also an incredible polyphenol food. But not all chocolate. So you want to get the darker chocolate. You don't want to get the refined processed chocolate. You want something that's a real dark, 70, 80% chocolate that's going to have more polyphenols. You want it to be organic and you want the sugar content to be very, very low. Legit, this is my favorite. Hue. We will put a link in the notes for you. These little snacking gems, oh my gosh, amazing. These got me through writing my last book. I was at 9 o'clock at night eating my Hue gems in order to get pushed through the last few chapters of the book. So if you haven't tried these, I highly recommend them. And yes, they feed your microbiome. And yes, I've tried breaking a fast with them, even to thinking, let's feed my microbiome some chocolate as I enter out of a fasting window into an eating window. I give you permission to do that, only if it's good chocolate. Okay, other great polyphenol foods, this is not a typo either, is wine, but not every wine. So you guys hopefully know I'm a fan of Dry Farm wines because they have tested all of the chemicals in wine. And so these are low sugar, so it makes them more keto. There's no sugar added, and they're from all over the world. And there are natural yeasts in here. They have been raised naturally, so they actually have a microbiome benefit. And because they're high in polyphenols, they will feed those bacteria that are there that you can grow to make the neurotransmitters you need to be happy. Now, of course, everything in moderation. I just want to point that out. If you want to know how to find Dry Farm wines, I will put a link in the notes so that you can go find Dry Farm wines, because when I drink wine, I'm not drinking any wine. I'm drinking Dry Farm wines because I want it to be clean. Okay, the other thing that I'll tell you on the polyphenol foods is beans are great, spices are great. Those can all be beneficial. So 3 major categories: your probiotic, your prebiotic, and your polyphenol. You can use them to really enhance neurotransmitter production. You're feeding those bacteria. When you feed those bacteria, they come back and they make these neurotransmitters. Those neurotransmitters crawl up the vagus nerve to your brain, and they help you feel relaxed, calm, joyful, and hopefully give you the best that life can offer. It's that simple when we are trying to build a fasting lifestyle. Go back and watch the last video, because you want to be able to vary your fast, but go into those lengths that repair the neurons. And then when you eat, you want to lean into these foods. They're going to help with the neurotransmitter production. So I made these 2 videos to really go together for those of you that are struggling with mental health. And I also want to just point out, these are foundational. This should be the foundation in which you build a mentally healthy lifestyle. And they are a part of a multi-therapeutic approach. There are a lot of reasons why our brains start to go in depressive and anxious states. So this is foundational work, and as always, you may have to add in other therapies, but those of you who have already done the other therapies and haven't done this foundational work, this is key. So put in the notes, put in the comments if you've built a fasting lifestyle, if you've used some of the hacks I've given you with these foods to improve mental health. We are a community here together, so that I want you that are new, or maybe this concept is new to you, to go into the comments and make sure you read them, so you too can see that the power is in your hands. You are the miracle, and you can make a difference in your own life. And as always, if you are looking for more customization of this material, come join me in my Reset Academy. Just put Academy in the notes and my team will send you a link. So appreciate and love you all. And I know that your life can be changed with these principles. So thank you as always for sharing them out into the world. We are more powerful together.